Hello? I'm sitting in Tanya's parking lot. And I'm sitting in Tanya's driveway. And we just went and she got a fountain Coke and I got a bottle of water. Hold on just a second. And you guys, I am super, super tired. So I do not know that I am gonna vlog for a really long time tonight. Which I always say that and then it ends up being longer than I say. So we'll just have to see, but I am like really tired. Put my remote behind here. Okay, I got up today. The dogs, unfortunately, did not want to sleep in today. So, I didn't get to sleep in today, and, it's so hot in here tonight. Oh, it's 76. It feels real muggy outside, which I like, but I have no air conditioning in my car because I still haven't gotten it fixed. And so everybody keeps on asking me. I'm probably going to get it fixed when we get back from vacation just because I just don't want to have to deal with it before we go. And we're leaving in a week, so. And it's really not that bad. I mean, I say it's hot in here, but it's not that hot. It really isn't that bad. So I got up today, woke up to a text message from my friend's dad saying that he had heard that people supposedly had seen my friend out on the streets using, but that he was still in the halfway house and that he was doing well and that he just wanted me to know that that wasn't him. So, he's doing fine, I guess. I guess it wasn't him and that people thought it was him or something. I don't know. But I'm just glad that he's safe. So, since I talked about it on here last night and got so emotional, I wanted to kind of do a follow-up on that. I'm really, really happy that my friend is safe. And then it was, I don't ever really talk about my drama channel on here, but it was like day of drama. So if you guys watch my drama videos too, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it was just me talking to like all my friends that are drama channels and talking about like what's going on, and you know, I had to figure out how I wanted to do my videos, if I wanted to do 2 videos or 1 video and whatever, and I was like reading the tweets and just was like constant. So it's fun to do that stuff though. I love doing it and like watching it all and then having commentary on it. The whole situation makes me very, very sad. I wish, you know, I just wish that these people realized the lives they were handed. And I know that they've worked very hard for it, probably, you know, by putting up videos and, you know, working with different brands. I'm not saying that I think that their job by any means is easy. I don't know what that job would look like. But I think that they have very charmed lives. So, the infighting and all that kind of stuff just makes me sad, you know? Like, infighting in between any group of people or friends makes me sad. Not just, you know, in this fantasy world of beauty influencers on YouTube. It's just, you know, period. It makes me sad. Because it doesn't have to be that way, you know? And then I went and got coffee. Went to the post office. Came home. And filmed my videos. Got them up. And then I had marriage counseling with Alex tonight, which went really, really well. We did 2 weeks back to back because we can't go again until after we come back on vacation. And then our counselor, because tonight was supposed to be Alex's night. And then our counselor is going to be gone. So it's like 3 or 4, I think it's like 4 weeks until we can go. I don't know. And Alex scheduled the appointment. So, for the next appointment. So I just went tonight so we would make sure that, like, you know, we were on track about things. I was cleaning out my car back here. I'm gonna pull into the post office in a second. I'll read it to you because it's interesting. I found my sheet of paper that has the different forms of intimacy on it. And since so many people have asked about that, I thought I would just like read it to you guys. I was like cleaning out my car back there because I had all these extra bottles of water and stuff, so. But yeah, it was a good day, and I'm almost done with the Audible version of Harry Potter. I would highly recommend it, even if you've read Harry Potter. It's a really good version. The guy that narrates it is fantastic. And that's about it. I don't really have a whole lot to talk about. I mean, do I ever have a lot to talk about today? Oh, Alex and I went to Piata again, and I got the Piata Avocado Summer Wrap, whatever it's called. Summer Avocado Piata, and it's a wrap. And I got it without bacon, and it's delicious. And the guys, like, they were really nice. The guys that worked in there, like, there's like a chef, like with a chef's jacket on, and I was like asking for a bag to like take it home, and he was like, did you like it? He goes, how was it? And I go, it was really good. I said, I mean, I've had it before, but it's really good. I love it. And I was telling them I'm a vegetarian and that, like, I like to try new things. And he's like, oh, I'm really happy that you really liked it, and, you know, whatever. Alex got this pasta bowl that was, like, fantastic. And he got this, like, marinara sauce mixed with Diablo sauce. And then he got all this stuff mixed into it. And then he got a big giant meatball on top of it. Oh, he loves to go places like Maggiano's or... Well, usually if we go someplace like an Italian restaurant, Alex always gets lasagna. And he loves his mom's lasagna too. But often, like when we go places, he'll get spaghetti and meatballs, but it's usually always just one big meatball. He loves that. It was nice. It was just very relaxing. It was like us and like all these like college kids in there that were like, I mean, I didn't think that college was back in session already, but they must be coming back into town to like Butler and stuff because it was like 3 groups of college kids just like sitting there. And then like one guy in the corner that was like on his cell phone the entire time. I notice these things because I'm observant, see? I have to run to my office too. I forgot some stuff in my office and I've got to go get it. Okay. So. This are the different forms of intimacy. Types of intimacy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are 12 forms of intimacy. Sexual intimacy, sharing, passion, and physical pleasuring. Okay, so the whole idea behind this, before I get into this, let me roll down my window. The whole idea of this is that the more connected you are with your partner on more of these levels of intimacy, the more connected you guys are as a unit. And so when arguing comes up or miscommunication or whatever, it's harder to break the bond of your relationship because you share all of these forms of intimacy, if that makes sense. So relationships that have really strong bonds are built on these 12 forms of intimacy. Now, some people only have one form of intimacy or no forms of intimacy in their relationship, right? So the idea in repairing your relationship, or the idea of building a stronger relationship, is having more bonds of intimacy. So these are the different bonds of intimacy. Sexual intimacy, sharing passion and physical pleasuring. Emotional intimacy, being tuned to each other's wavelength. Intellectual intimacy, closeness in the world of ideas. Aesthetic intimacy, I hate that word aesthetic. Aesthetic intimacy, sharing experiences of beauty. Creative intimacy, sharing in acts of creating together. Recreational intimacy, relating an experience of fun and play. Work intimacy, closeness of sharing common tasks. Crisis intimacy, closeness in coping with problems and pain. Conflict intimacy, facing and struggling with differences. Loud while I'm trying to be talking about intimacy. Conflict intimacy, facing and struggling with differences. Commitment intimacy, mutually derived from common self-interest. Spiritual intimacy, unity shared in religious expression. And communion intimacy, mutual understanding of affirmation. So like sexual intimacy could be having sex, but it's also about, you know, it's like the forms of affection and kissing and making out and things like that. Emotional intimacy, being tuned to each other's wavelengths, is allowing the other person to be emotional around you, or being tuned into what their emotions are and asking them about their emotions and things like that, having conversations about it. Intellectual intimacy, closeness in the world of ideas, means that you know, share discussions about world ideas, you know, like whether that's like art or books or political events that are going on, current affairs, things like that. Aesthetic intimacy, sharing experiences of beauty. So that would be like, you know, talking about photography. Like one of the things that Alex does a lot is that like we both follow these beautiful destinations, I think it's what it's called, on Instagram. And so we send each other like places that we want to go, and like these based on these beautiful pictures and stuff like that. And Alex and I collect art together. So we like to collect local art, or when we go somewhere, we'll like buy a piece of art that will remind us of where we went. Creative intimacy, sharing in acts of creating together. That's like our website. Recreational intimacy, relating experiences of fun and play. That's like traveling, or, you know, like we like to go to music festivals together. Work intimacy, closeness of sharing common tasks. And, you know, like, okay, so Alex and I today were talking about we have to finish like our walkway. One side's done and the other side isn't. And, you know, so we were talking about like how I can do half and he can do half, and we could do it this weekend and we could do it together, and that would be fun. Crisis intimacy, closeness and coping with problems and pain. I think, like, you know, for us, a test of like my aunt passing away and then my uncle passing away has been really good for us, you know, in dealing with like getting through those crises together and being team players. Conflict intimacy, facing and struggling with differences. And, you know, a lot of that is when you're not getting along and you're having differences, and how you learn to communicate through those differences. And the way that we communicate today through our differences is much different than when we first got together. You know, it was very much like, I would say 10 years ago, our differences, the way that we dealt with it was, like, we both wanted to be right rather than be happy. And I think today we both know that we would rather be happy than be right. Commitment and intimacy, mutually derived from common self-interest. So commitment and intimacy is kind of like talking about, and this is like a big part of what we've talked about in our relationship, like, what do we want the relationship to look like? You know, what do you, like, what are the boundaries within the relationship and things like that? And, you know, that's where we've talked a lot about, like, it's important for me, you know, like Alex has, tonight he was talking a lot to his friend Sarah, because she's moving back here, and so he is going with his other best friend. There's three of them, Stephanie, Alex, and Sarah, that were best friends in high school. So Sarah's driving back from California because she's moving back here, and Alex and Stephanie are going to drive to Nashville. Well, I will say like 6 years ago, well, before we got married, so that would be 8 years ago, like, because of jealousy issues that I've had from past relationships, I had a hard time with like Alex going and doing stuff on his own. But like today, one of the things that's really important is that we each have our own lives. And so that's like a part of our commitment, like, discussion that we've had. Like, what does that look like for us? Like, when is it important for us to have date nights? When is it for us important to have dinner together? Is there a difference between, like, tonight, like us just going to Piata and having a sandwich after, you know, a long day and being on our phones, checking our phones and kind of casually talking, than going on an actual date night and not taking our phones? That's like another part of our commitment discussion. So, because there is a difference to us. So like on date nights, we don't take our phones. I mean, we take our phones, but we don't take them into the restaurant with us. A spiritual intimacy, unity shared in religious expression. Like I talked about last night, my husband has absolutely like no spiritual beliefs whatsoever. But I think that's shared in more of like, I would say, a recovery language that exists in our home. Because, you know, I'll say things like, he doesn't necessarily believe that things happen for reasons, but he does believe that there are learning experiences from things that happen. And so when we talk about things, especially, you know, when we talk about the language of like I need to own this, or this is my side that I need to clean up, or whatever, like, we talk a lot about those kinds of things. And that's really helped our language of getting along and not arguing about things through the years. And then communication intimacy, mutual understanding of affirmation. And that's not just about having better communication skills. That's about really listening to the other person and being able to say, okay, I heard what you said, and let me respect that, you know? So I think it's important, and I think it's a cool discussion to have, you know, like, how many of those forms of intimacy are you, like, really having with your partner, you know? I don't know. If you guys like this and you want to know more about it, let me know and I'll do a video about it on my Peterson's channel, and then I'll list them below. But I think you could probably find this anywhere, the 12 forms of intimacy. And we did this when we were reading that book, Hold Me Closer, Hold Me Close, Hold Me Closer, Hold Me Close, I think it was called. So, yeah. I've gotten so many messages from people that have said to me that as a result of me talking about marriage counseling, that they've started going with their husbands or wives to marriage counseling or partners or whatever. And that's just phenomenal to me. You know, like, it makes me really, really happy that, you know, that I've been able to share that. And I think that one of the things that it does is it's going to, like, we're not going to always have great times. I mean, there's going to be times that are going to be difficult in any marriage, you know? Like, when, you know, either we're both, like, working a lot, or, you know, like, when we get back from Vegas, Alex goes the following weekend to a music festival that I don't want to go to. And then the weekend after that, he goes to, what do you call it? He goes to visit his friend Sarah, and then they're driving back here together. And the weekend after that, I'm thinking about going to visit my friend Rich in Houston. So, you know, like, there's going to be several weekends where we're not together. And those intimacy forms are important because those are things that we can still do via the phone, or the 3 or 4 days that we're together and things like that. And I am a believer, I will tell you this, that, you know, if as a relationship, one of you or both of you is working a lot and you only have a couple hours in the evening, I think it's really vital to be physically intimate. I do, you know? Not every day, but I do think that every day, you know, like, Alex and I are really, really big on, like, the hand holding, and, like, just even in the car or, like, in bed, you know, we always, like, make out, and, like, we kiss each other, you know, goodnight. We kiss each other, you know, in the morning. He always kisses me before he goes, you know, to work. And I just feel like that kind of stuff is really, really important in relationships, you know, to be connected. And I do believe that, like, at times that we've had, like, some really horrible arguments, I won't say that we've gone to bed not arguing, because, like, Alex is not big on that. Like, I am big on that. Okay, please, camera, don't shut off on me. Like, Alex is not big on that. Like, he doesn't really care. He's like, I gotta go to sleep. I gotta work in the morning. If we don't work this out, we don't work it out, okay? Like, I'm not real worried about that tonight. We can work it out tomorrow. The other thing is that Alex is really big on, or he was in the past, like, saying our piece and then saying, okay, let's move forward. Like, we don't need to, like, fix this, all of it tonight. You know what I mean? And so, but back in the day, I used to be very much like, I can't sleep if we don't work this out. I'm not like that today, you know? Like, I realize that the world's problems are not going to be fixed in an hour sitting there having a discussion at 11 o'clock at night. And sometimes it's better for both of us, you know, me to go read or, you know, whatever, and him to go to sleep. But I will say this, we don't argue the way that we used to, man. I mean, we have had some arguments in our life, you know? Tanya and I were talking about that tonight because she said something about, like, we were talking about dogs being able to pick, we were talking about a friend of ours, and that the friend was saying something about the dog picking up on her and her boyfriend arguing. And I said, oh yeah, the dogs back in the day, like, I think they really kind of tell, you know? And I mean, Alex and I never have been, like, screamers or throw stuff or anything like that, but we've raised our voices to each other, and the dogs would just kind of sit there and look at us, you know? But I said, we don't argue like that today. We just don't. Like, I think we respect each other enough that, I don't know, we respect each other enough to not go there. The other thing is that our counselor has been really, really big on giving each other space. So one of the things is, like, let's say if we're having a discussion about something and the discussion starts getting out of hand, like, I think this happens in any relationship, right? That, I mean, like, any, I think, couple has a conversation and then it turns into kind of an argument, and then people start saying things that they don't want to say. We've all been there, right? But Alex and I are really good now at stopping it right there. One of us will, and say, I think that we need to stop this conversation, give each other some space, and then come back in an hour. And we do that, right? And it's like, we come back in an hour and we're like, I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to argue with you either. It's just not that important to me that we're, you know, talking about the trash, like who took the trash out. You know what I mean? Like, it just isn't. The long-term relationship, like what you're saving, is more important in the long run, don't you think? It is to me. Like, that's definitely more important to me. So, I don't know, you know, it's like, we've worked, so, like, for a long time, every time we went in for a marriage counseling session, we worked on, like, one of those issues. Well, I mean, like, the sexual and physical intimacy, it wasn't like we were doing it in our counselor's office, but you know what I mean? Like, we would talk about, I will say this was actually, like, one of the best sessions that we had, we talked about what we wanted or desired from the other person in a like physically. Like, that was an important session for us to have, you know? And the other stuff was like, you know, every week we would come in there and we would talk about a certain form of intimacy, and, you know, then we were given some assignments to do to work on those forms of intimacy and to improve them. I feel like as much as I keep on turning this, it's like looking out the window. I don't know why. It never does that, does it? But anyway, so, you know, our counselor would give us some assignments every week that we worked on, and the assignments really helped us, like cement or make stronger that level of intimacy. What time is it? So yeah, so those are the levels of, those are the phases of intimacy, or the points of intimacy to work on in a relationship. I think when you look at them and then you ask yourself, okay, am I applying these to my own relationship? Like, what am I doing in my relationship to make it stronger? I don't think I want to be in a relationship where we're, you know, putting gold stars up for what we're doing, and we're doing all kinds, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be in that relationship. But at the same time, I want to be conscious of the efforts that we're making in the relationship, because I think that really what you're doing is you're building a strong foundation so that you can stay together 20, 30 years, if that makes sense. Not that that always happens. I mean, relationships fall apart sometimes, you know? Stuff happens. Shit happens. I get messages from people all the time that will say, like, they just broke up this week. They'll say, I'm with so-and-so for so long, we just broke up this week. I got one of these today. You know, it just makes me so sad. It's, people go their separate ways, you know? But we're not there today, and we've come a long way. It's interesting, like Alex and I, like, if I post a picture of us on Instagram, I get so many, like, comments, and people are like, couple goals, and I'm like, I don't really think that we're a whole lot different than anybody else. I think that we're just trying to get by, you know? I think we're trying to lean on each other and be a team for each other. You know, I don't think that we're trying to be the perfect couple. I don't know that I think there is such a thing, you know? I think we're trying to uplift each other in a relationship and, you know, be each other's cheerleader, each other's team partner, team player. I think there are times that I have to step back and let Alex, you know, shine in the spotlight, and I think he's done the same for me. And I think those are moments of being proud of your partner. I think it's important to come for that person no matter what they're going through. A really good learning experience for me was when my aunt passed away, and Alex was really close with my aunt. I took that so personally, and Alex really wasn't vocalizing a lot of what was going on with him at the time. Like, I could really tell that he was affected by it, but I wasn't saying things to him. Like, I was so, like, selfish in my own grief that it took me like a day, you know, before I looked at him and I said, are you doing okay? And he was like, I'm not doing okay. Like, I miss, you know, your aunt. Like, I loved her so much. Like, I'm really struggling with this. And that conversation, I remember it. In that conversation we were, like, having in the bedroom, because usually we have, like, conversations not in the bedroom, because I think it's important to not have, like, discussions in the bedroom, because it's, you know, like, the territory. But, like, that conversation we had in the bedroom, and I can remember, like, we were just holding each other, talking about, like, how much in pain we were over the grief, you know? And I think we really leaned on each other, and it really strengthened us as a couple, that we were able to have this really, you know, intense conversation about the pain that we were equally feeling, and we could be there for the other person. And I think that's important, you know? Relationships are hard. They are. But the benefit that you get out of it, stopped on me. Relationships are hard, you know, but, like, the benefits that you get out of it, like, I love being married. Like, I love it. I mean, I can't even tell you how much I love being married. I love having a husband. I love being married. I love, you know, getting a home together, you know, with my husband, and planning trips and saying where we want to be a year from now and what we want to do. Like, I love all of that. Like, I'm somebody, like, I know there's a lot of people out there that are single that don't ever want to be in a relationship, and I respect that. But that's not what I want. Like, I love being in a relationship and being married. I love that. And I value that, you know, and try to protect it as much as possible. And I think when you're going over like those forms of intimacy and doing things like that, and that's why like marriage counseling for us and working on these issues and having date nights, I think date nights are so important. I think traveling together just as a couple is so important, even if it's just one night downtown in a hotel or whatever you can afford, you know, or just even like a camping trip for the weekend or whatever, you know, it is. I think is so important because I think it brings couples closer together, and it's that alone time, you know. Tanya, when we go out of town, she's going to Lake Norris, Tennessee with her husband for a week. And she and Eric are kind of the ones that taught me about all that. Like, they travel a lot, just the two of them. And she's always talking to me about how important it is for their relationship and stuff like that. Anyway, let's see, what else could I talk about tonight? Harry Potter. Harry Potter. When I read the book the first time, like, I couldn't remember any of the names. I mean, like, the main people, like Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger and Harry and all that stuff, and, you know, Hagrid, I could remember them, but, like, the names of the teachers and all that kind of stuff, like, I mean, a month later, I had forgotten who a lot of those people were, and this time, like, listening to it, like, I'm remembering all of them. It's so great. Like, I feel like I'm really into the world of Harry Potter, and I'm gonna do that. I've done the sorting cap twice. Once I was a Hufflepuff, the first time I was a Hufflepuff, second time I was a Gryffindor, so I'm gonna do it again and see what I become. Tomorrow I don't have a whole lot that I'm gonna do. Alex's friend went out of town and she left her car at the airport, and she doesn't know when she's coming back because she went indefinitely for some family stuff. So at some point tomorrow, I've got to take Alex to the airport so that he can pick up her car. He's real excited because it's a Maserati. I never got that car bug, you know? Like, don't get me wrong, I like nice cars. I would love to have it, you know? But, like, my car is fine for me. I just look down at, like, having 185,000 miles. I'm like, is it really fine for you, Peter? You might want to rethink that at 185,000 miles on a Ford Escape. 2012 Ford Escape. 185,000 miles on it, my God. Well, we've taken this to Florida like 3 times, to Miami. We've taken it to Nashville. We've taken it to Chicago. I mean, I've driven a lot in this car. And every night I drive around, so let's just be for real. But I don't think I drive, like, you know, during the day, I just kind of drive around, like, where we live, and I go 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. So at night, if I drive 20 miles, you know, while I'm vlogging, like, a lot of people drive 20 to 40 miles in the morning and 20, 40 miles in the evening on their way home from work. So it's not like I'm really putting a lot more in my car than I think a lot of people do. I bought this car and it had 21,000 miles on it. So I've put 164,000 miles on it. I didn't buy it in 2012. I don't know how long, I don't know when I bought this car. I don't remember. 4 years ago. That's 40,000 miles a year that I'm putting on this car. Like, that's crazy, isn't it? Oh, who cares? You can tell it's fall in Indiana when my eyes start itching because of allergies. I need to go to the pool. I haven't been going to the pool a whole lot. I went, like, what, once last week? And then I always say I'm going to go every night, and then I don't. And then it's, like, fall, and I'm like, damn it, I didn't go to the pool a lot this summer. I do that, like, every summer, you guys. This was going to be my summer to get up and go to the pool, like, 3 days a week. And I haven't done that. I need to kind of plan out my weeks better. But in Vegas, we're going to be by the pool every day, so I'm ready for that. We were talking about that tonight because Alex and his friends are coming up with stuff that they're going to go to in Nashville, if they're going to go do. And I said, well, what do you want to do besides shows in Vegas? He's like, I just want to lay out by the pool and relax. I said, me too. So that's what we're going to do. And take naps, and we're going to have a real romantic little trip. I'm excited about it. It's weird that I haven't been to Vegas in 7 years. It feels like it was like a year ago that I went. It's crazy. It's weird to think that it's been 7 years since we got married. Like, what is the 7-year wedding anniversary? It's weird to think that we've been together for 10 years. 10 years is a long time. I can remember, like, the very first date that we had, when he, like, walked in front of my car. Actually, I was driving a different car there. I had this pearl-colored Ford Explorer. I loved it. And, I can remember he, like, walked in front of my car. He was like, I was like, you're so fucked. I thought he was so cute. We used to go out so much, like, when we first got together. I, like, kind of miss it sometimes, you know? Like, I just don't have the energy, honestly, anymore. But we used to go out so much, like, I miss, like, we used to go to the Jazz Kitchen and go salsa dancing, like, every Thursday night. Like, every Thursday night we would go there. And, I mean, we went out. I don't miss going out as much as we went out, but I miss going out somewhat. Like, he doesn't even like to go out that much anymore. He, like, goes over to his friend's house and they'll, like, have a bottle of wine, or, you know, sitting on the patio. Or, like, he'll go out to dinner with somebody, or I'll go out to dinner with him and somebody. But, like, we don't, like, he doesn't even go out the way that, you know, I mean, he is 34 now, so maybe that's what it is, but it's just weird to me, like, how much our life has changed since then, you know? When I met Alex, his two closest friends, Cole and Demi, who are good friends of mine now too, they, it was like the three of them, and they were turning, I think, 22 when I met them, and now Demi lives in New York City. He's lived there for a long time, and he's like 2 years younger than Alex, so he's like 32, and I've like hit every yellow light, you guys, have you noticed this? And Cole is married, and we went to Cole's wedding like 3 years ago. It's so surreal to me. I mean, it's crazy. That was a fun wedding. It was up like on the water. His husband's parents live like on the water outside of Minneapolis, I think. Yeah. It is gorgeous house. And it was like the wedding was like in front of the house, but then like the reception was like in the back of the house. Beautiful. It was this area that was like one street over from houses that were like on the lake. It was gorgeous. That was a really fun weekend. We had good, but we did not look into hotels. We just like, well, Alex booked it. Oh, this is funny. So Alex booked it, right? And I totally forgot about this. So Alex and I can be a little bougie, a little snotty when it comes to hotels. And I definitely can be. And so I just like to stay in a nice hotel. I enjoy hotels. I enjoy nice bathrooms in hotels. I like hotels. I always have. I've always liked staying in hotels. So I don't mind paying a little bit more for a hotel room per night, because that's part of what I really enjoy about a trip. So we drive up there. Well, you know, you have to drive through Chicago to get to Minneapolis from Indianapolis. And so we drive up there, and we ended up getting into this hotel that was like, they gave like 2 hotels that were like 5 minutes away from where they lived. And they were right by some mall that was like really nice, like this really nice mall, but I didn't find that out till like later that night. So we got there this one night, and it was literally like, this hotel was, I don't even remember what it was. It was a shithole. I mean, it was absolutely disgusting. And it was like, it was the weirdest hotel in the world, because it was like, Okay, they had this like indoor pool, but at one point, like the indoor pool must have been like an outdoor pool because they had like a building within a building. Like they had one of those like motel, you know, like when a motel like has the doors on the outside and like the window. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like it has a door and then like a window on the outside. You know, like motels that you stop at when you're like going cross country and you're like, you know what I'm talking about? The old school motels. I used to stay in those with my parents when I was like little kid. So anyway, it had that like inside, like the windows and the doors, but then it was all underneath this building by this inside pool. It was very bizarre. And we got there and we had like dirty sheets on our bed. Like Alex was so skeeved out by the whole thing. So we got there and we were so pissed and everybody had gone out that night and we got up there so late that we just like couldn't meet them out. We just wanted to eat and go to bed because the wedding was the next day. So we drove around. I'm not lying to you, like for an hour, and we finally go to this like Denny's, and no, we went to this Denny's, and the Denny's was closed. It was supposed to be this 24-hour Denny's, but there had been like a shooting there or something. For some reason, we talked to like the girl was standing outside, and she's like, oh, we're waiting for the police, something happened. So the only other thing that we could find was this Applebee's. That was literally, I have never been to an Applebee's in my entire life at midnight on whatever night of the week it was, Friday or something. That has been so packed. It was so packed. And so anyway, we were supposed to stay there Friday and Saturday night. Well, the next day we went to the wedding, and the wedding, it was early. It was like at like 11:30, and then the reception was after that and went into the afternoon. Well, by about 2:30 or 3, because we had had such an uncomfortable night in the hotel room the night before, Alex was like, and he's like always the one that wants to stay till the bitter end. He's like, how late do you want to stay at this wedding reception? And I said, well, I can tell you what, right now, I don't want to go back to that hotel room and just sit in that shithole hotel room. And he goes, do you want to see if we can get our money back for tonight and drive back to Indianapolis? I was like, hell yes, let's go. Because I could just listen to an audiobook and drive all the way home through Chicago, and Alex could sleep because he had been drinking at the wedding reception. And I knew he was ready to go home. He goes, we could go home and then we can have the whole day together tomorrow, blah, 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 whatever. We could go out to brunch, we could just spend it together. I said, let's do it. So we left Minneapolis at, I don't know, we stayed there till like 9 or 10. We got our money back for the hotel room. Alex was real nice. The woman was like, we totally understand, don't worry about it. She was really cool about the whole thing. And we got our money back and we left. And we drove through. That was kind of one of the fun, like, did you guys ever have those moments that are totally spontaneous? Like, that was like really fun. That road trip home was fun. And he stayed home for most of it until we got to like just south of Chicago, and then the rest of the way is like an hour and a half drive, and he stayed up till then. He's like, are you okay? And I go, yeah, I'm gonna stop and get a fountain pop and listen. I was listening to my audiobook on the radio and or on the stereo, and I stopped and I got a fountain pop and he was asleep. We had changed into like sweat shorts and we were comfy on the way home. That was fun. The wedding was nice. The hotel was not, but we always try to make, you know, fun out of whatever situation we're in, or turn it into a joke for later, right? I'm trying to think of other situations that we've had like that. Well, a couple years ago, we went to Louisville for our anniversary. God, that's been like, it was like our 1-year anniversary, our wedding anniversary. Yeah, because the picture over the bed, Alex had that picture like stretched, and that was my anniversary present that year. And then so anyway, we went to the 21C, which is this amazing hotel in Louisville, and we were there for like 2 nights. The hotel is gorgeous. The restaurant proof is gorgeous. But that day, we got there really early on like a Friday. Like we took off Friday and we got there really, really early. We left at like 8 in the morning and got down to Louisville at like 10 in the morning. And where this hotel is, there's like nothing there. There's like a jail like 1 block away. It's like there's literally nothing around there. And Alex was like, I want to go get coffee. Or I was like, I want to go get coffee. And Alex was like, well, I want to get like a juice or something. So we were like walking. We walked for like 4 hours, and we got laughing so hard. We're like, this place, there's nothing around. Like, there's literally nothing around here, right? And we had this kind of stupid joke, because whenever we drive into Louisville, like the Louisville Slugger like factory is there, and then they also have, it's like right by the ballet. And so whenever we drive by it, he's always like, there's the ballet, and I'm like, yeah, they asked me to perform, but I said I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it this year. He's like, oh really, they asked me to perform? I'm like, yeah, they also asked me to be a Louisville Slugger, but I couldn't do that either. So anyway, that's stupid, but it's our little personal thing. And then that Friday night, we went to, at that time, the Connection was still open, so we went out to dinner, and then we went to the Connection. Did we, or did we go to the Connection? I think we just went to bed early that night. And then Saturday we got up and we went to, I cannot remember what this place is called, the Highlands in Louisville. And it's where they have like all of these like retro shops and vintage clothing shops that are very, very cool. And they had some of the coolest shops over there. We walked up and down all through there. We had lunch in there. We had lunch at this little place that is a gas station. It's not in the Highlands in Louisville. It's like before you get there. We went to all the antique shops. Louisville has some of the most fantastic antique shops, and I'm not real into all that, but we walked through some of them. And then we have this, last time I talked about this on a vlog, somebody knew what I was talking about, and they listed it below, but it's an actual old gas station, and they have like lemonade and these like glass, that you can drink in these like glass cans, or glass, like old school like jelly glasses and stuff. It's a very cool restaurant, and it's literally an old like gas station garage, and they have pizzas and stuff like that. It's fantastic. I can't remember what it was called, but we've gone the last 2 times, because we went that time, and then another time we went with our friends, and we like all stayed in the same hotel. We went to lunch there, and we had because they were running a marathon down there, and we had a great time when we went to that restaurant. The restaurant, if you ever go to Louisville, I don't know what it's called, somebody put it below if you know, but it's like this gas station. It's fantastic. It's not like a diner. It's not like that at all. It's kind of like artsy, upscale pizzas and stuff like that. And then we shopped through all there. That was when I was much thinner, because I got some really great shirts. And then we went out that night. We went dancing. We saw the drag show and all that kind of stuff. It was really fun. I haven't been to a drag show, and I cannot tell you how long. I mean, it has been forever since I've seen a drag show. When I first came out, I went to go see drag shows all the time. I had so many friends that were drag queens, and I went to all the pageants, the national pageants and stuff, EOI and all that. But now, we just don't, I mean, Indianapolis doesn't have a huge, like, drag community. There's, like, 2 bars, I think, that people perform at, and that, if that. And, like the whole gay community in Indianapolis kind of fell apart a little bit when a couple bars closed, but by that point, I wasn't really going out to them anymore anyway. Alex said there's like 2 bars that are still kind of busy on weekends and stuff, but I'd love to go to a drag show. How long have I been talking now? Oh my god, almost 20 more minutes. 44 minutes. My eyes kind of hurt. Yeah, we did Louisville one year, and then, well, the wedding that we went to in Cincinnati not too long ago, that was really fun. But we just drove down there for the day. Changing into our outfits in the gas station bathroom. That was funny. Chicago, we always have a fun time when we go to Chicago, but Chicago's just not my favorite city. I used to love it back in the day. I don't love it anymore. I don't know why. I don't know what's changed for me about Chicago. I think I've like just been so many times that I don't know, I just don't like, honestly, oh god, I'm gonna get ripped to shreds about this. Honestly, the times that I've gone to Chicago, let's say in the last 15 years, and gone out to like, because if we go to like, well, that's not true. The last time that we went, I was gonna say we always go to gay bars. The last time that we went, Alex and I went to this restaurant bar called The National. We went with his friend, and they had like salsa dancing there, and it was like tapas. It was amazing. I love this little place. It was so sexy and dark, and it was very cool. And they had like this red carpet out front. It was just really cool. But the last couple of times that I've gone out, like now, not to like Roscoe's and stuff like that, like those are kind of like really like laid back. But like we went to, what's the one with the TV screens? Why can't I think of what it's called? Oh, shoot. I've been there like a million times. But some of the bars in Chicago, like the Ego, and the arrogance, it's like, check it out the door. You know what I mean? Like, listen, we're all just people. There's so much arrogance, and I'm just like, it just is a real turnoff for me. I just don't like, and so I don't enjoy it, you know? Like, I'm just like, I don't want to be out. Like, there wasn't a whole lot of that when I came out back in the day. You know, I think it was like, everybody more was just like, so happy to have a place to be collectively as a gay community that like everybody got along. There wasn't any kind of like, I'm better than you kind of attitude. I don't know, like, I haven't been out in a long time, so I guess I can't really speak to that. Maybe it's changed. I always give people the benefit of the doubt, you know, that things change. I don't know. Maybe it's not that way. Sidetracks, that's what the bar's called. The last time I was there, I just was kind of like, these people think they're better. Not all of them, but there was like, we were standing by this group, and I was like, these people think that they're better than everybody else. Listen, we're all just human beings trying to do the best that we can do. There's no reason to ever, you know, side-eye somebody, or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That shit's just like a real turn-off to me when people act that way. We all do the same things in life, right? I was gonna say we all poop. I mean, we do. Like, let's just be for real, okay? Your shit don't stink. You're no better than anybody else. Quit acting like it. Somebody that lacks humility, to me, is like, I don't waste a whole lot of time on. Like, it makes me sad. We never go to any of the restaurants over here. Probably because they're the same restaurants we have right by our house. There's Chick-fil-A! I love you, but I'm a vegetarian now and a bad gay. Chipotle! Is there anything in here that I need to have that I didn't know existed over here? Did you ever do that? No, because you're not like a car vlogger. I'm a car vlogger. I just drive around and look at all these places. Something smells good over there, though. I don't know what it was. Oh, the air outside feels so good. This is like one of the nights that we would like sit in the front yard and we would just like tell stories, like back in the day when I was growing up. And you know, like growing up where I did, because like we had woods, like our cul-de-sac was like all like had woods all around it, and so it was like always kind of dark and spooky. And I mean, there was no lights in the woods, you know, and all of our houses were kind of like, you know, like when you go down so many streets now and they have like all these street lights and all this. Our street wasn't like that back in the day. It was dark. So like if there were like carriage lights on the front of the house, that was it. Like we didn't have motion sensors back in the day. We didn't have like, you know, what are they called? Floodlights in the back in the day. When I got in high school, my mom finally got floodlights, and she had them on like the driveway, and she had them like in the backyard, because our backyard like went right into the woods. Like it was kind of spooky. And then so she had floodlights in the backyard and on the side yard and on the driveway and going down into the front like thing. Our house was like lit up when I was in high school, but I think that's because my mom got a little bit more fearful as she got older, you know. And but we would sit out in the front yard in the summer, and I can remember like feeling the cool breeze. You could always hear the creek. The second time I went all the way through and it stopped on its own, the creek ran behind our houses, right? So you could hear it like go running like at night. We would just be sitting out there being completely still, and you could hear like the TVs from people's houses because they would have their windows open, you know? And so you could hear them inside like watching TV and stuff. Oh, by the way, Rear Window, which is one of my favorite movies, is free on cable right now. But anyway, so you could like hear like the TVs from different houses. It was real homey, and then we would like sit in the front yard and we would like pull at grass. Do you remember that? Like trying to whistle through grass. And we would sit out there and we would tell stories and like ghost stories and come up with ghost stories and all that kind of stuff. And then it would be time for us to go inside and go to bed. Those were so much fun days back in the day. Those were so much fun days. Those were fun days back in the day. And is that a retirement home? It's so depressing. Don't ever put me at Spring Mill Meadows. Is that what it is? Nursing community, God. I'm sure it's a fortune too, because where it's at right here is probably expensive. I can remember sometimes like standing in my window and looking out at the woods and swearing I saw somebody standing down there. God. I was thinking about that the other day, like, is there a Mary Higgins Clark book called The Watcher in the Woods? I was thinking about this the other day, or like, Where Are the Children? I used to like read her books way back in the day. I read like 2 of them and I really liked them. And I thought, because they've made them into a lot of like Lifetime movies or some kind of like made-for-TV movies. And I thought, I'm gonna go and get some of those Mary Higgins Clark books because they're like pretty good mysteries. She still write them? Whatever happened to that Patsy Cline? Why don't she make no more records? Because she's dead. It's like one of my favorite lines from any movie, that movie U-Turn. Did you ever see that movie U-Turn? Claire Danes asked that. I love that Patsy Cline. Why don't she make no more records? Because she's dead. Joaquin Phoenix said, oh. Is that Mary Higgins Clark? She's got a daughter too, I think, as a mystery writer. Am I wrong? Does she? I don't know. Oh my God. This is like the stuff that my mom and I would get laughing over back in the day. We would like say this stuff and we'd just get laughing over the most foolish stuff. She still write those books. She still make those mysteries. She's still trying to get people to figure out her stuff. Oh my God. Okay, you guys, listen. I said I wasn't going to talk for long, and I've talked for like almost 50 minutes. So I'm going to get off here, and it's your Wednesday that you're watching this, so it's hump day, hump day. My friend back in the day, my friend Meredith, she was from Mississippi, and she taught me that the way that you spell Mississippi is M-I, crooked letter I, humpback, I, M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I. M-I, crooked letter I, crooked letter I, humpback, I. That's what my friend Meredith taught me back in the day. I just saw her picture come up on Facebook. Not her. This is not about her because she's married and happy. But do you ever like Facebook stalk people that you went to high school with? I do all the time. Okay, they don't even know it. They don't even know that I could care less about their life. They don't have any clue that I probably am existing out there in the world. And there I am, like thinking about Judy Smith, who sat 2 rows behind me in high school, and I'm like stalking her whole life from the last 20 years. What kills me is, have you ever gone into like somebody's Facebook and like you truly haven't looked at it? Like you've been friends with them forever, right? But you haven't looked at it in like, I mean, honest to God, like 5 or 10 years. And the reality is that they've been married and divorced and you didn't even know it. Okay, like that is a sad reality of when you are out of somebody's life. So I can lose, this is why I think Facebook's of the devil. I can literally lose hours on Facebook, okay? I can go into somebody's Facebook and then they'll post a picture with somebody else that I know, and then I go to that person's Facebook and I'm sitting there and I'm like, where do they go to school? What do they do? Oh, this is their grandma. Oh, look at their kids. Their kids are cute. Blah, 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 whatever, you know. Oh, okay. Oh, they got a 2-year-old. Oh, that's nice. You know, oh, they got remarried. Oh, who they remarried? And then I go, well, what happened to their ex-husband? Then I'm like, look at their ex-husband, and whoa, he's remarried too. Who's he married? Oh, I know his wife, you know. Do you guys do that stuff? I like totally fall down the rabbit hole of Facebook. That's why I cannot get on it, okay? I can't. It's of the devil. And now, I got on Facebook not too long ago. I literally only get on there like twice a week. Every time I get on there, it's not, people don't even like make real posts anymore. It's just meme after video of like, let me show you like what I found that is so important for you to see. I don't care, okay? Stop re-putting these videos and memes up there. It's too much for me. And then people always tag me these videos, they want me to watch them, and then I'm out to dinner and they're like, did you see the video that I sent you the other day? I'm like, no. They're like, I tagged you on Facebook. I'm like, I know, but I'm not on Facebook every 3 minutes like you are. Come join me with the kids over on Snapchat and Twitter. That's where the drama channels live. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't see my video that I sent you? It was really good. No, I didn't see it. Did you see the quote? It was an inspirational quote. I thought it would be really good for, you know, what you're going through in your life right now. No, I didn't see it. I posted it on your wall just for you. No, I didn't see it. Sorry. Do you want me to tell you what it was? Do you want me to show you? Do you want me to read it to you? No, I'm good. I'll look at it when I get home. Do people get mad at you about that stuff? You never like my pictures anymore. That's what kills me. When people go, did I do something wrong? You never like my pictures on Facebook anymore. Yeah, I haven't been on Facebook since June. You know what I mean? Like, give me a break. I'm sorry that I, you know, missed your family vacation to Alaska and the 340 pictures that you had to post in an album. And I have to go through and like every single one of them because if I don't, then your feelings are hurt. You know what I mean? Like, give me a break. God, we've lost our fucking minds to this world of social media. We just totally have. Anyway. I know there's somebody out there watching this that's laughing right now because they're like, this is so me. This is so me. I do that to my friends. You know you do. There's somebody out there that has that conversation with their friends that says, why don't you like my pictures anymore? Because it's a chore. You don't want your friends to have a chore of liking your pictures, okay? I like to look at my friends' pictures. I don't want to have to feel like I have to comment on them and ooh and ah, like fireworks every time I see them, you know? Anyway. All right, you guys, I'm going to get off here. I love you. And I'm going to put that on my Facebook post tomorrow. Nobody likes my pictures anymore. I haven't posted a picture in forever. I've lost it tonight. Oh, God. Okay. I love you. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.